particularly hard on myself because I didn't feel I was doing a very good job in that show. I had a lot on my plate. I was finishing my master's degree in special ed and teaching, and it was just a lot. And it was probably the worst performance I've ever done. But at the end of that, several gentlemen in the show took the time to ask me to come down here and express their concern about the mistreatment of myself that they had witnessed during that show. And several times after that meeting, Bob would take the time to give me wisdom from his heart and his experience. And again, I'm so glad that the comment about his heart and feeling and love for people that were around him is coming out now. Because we all knew that, right?
I never knew Bob as an actor. To me, he was a teacher. And I see other people in this audience who were his students. And even if we never had the impression that he loved teaching, oh, he was terrifying. But he was great. He made us see that acting is a discipline, that it was a privilege, that it was a craft, and a hell of a good time. He made us take it seriously. I took Introduction to Theater for a lark. And when I got out of that class, I never felt the same way about a play again. And when I went back to him for voice production, I can hear him now. You're breathing again. When I went back for acting for the camera, he said, Jennifer, you're a glutton for punishment. But it was because he had it. And I never wanted to act professionally, but I wanted to learn about acting from somebody that good. And he gave hundreds of students that experience. So even when he wasn't acting anymore, he was doing something.
I did not really know him all that well. I took him for introductory theater as well. And it was the same type of thing. I thought, it's a pass-fail class, it'll be fun. He busted our butts. It was so much fun to watch him. He would have us get up there and do improv or do readings, and we'd stand up there and we're terrified, and he'd sit there and watch you with a little smile on his face, and then tell you how horrible you were. And you're like, this idiot. But he would do it with this sparkle in his eye, and he really was brutally honest. But I think for a lot of students, it really did change the understanding of what it is to be an actor, to be in this business, and how you can truly affect people through the characters that you play. I had never seen him on stage. He was far too sick by then. And actually, he never even got to finish the semester with us. Marie actually graciously stepped in and took over our class for us and finished it off. But even in the short weeks that I had him, he certainly made an impression. And he was a very honest man. I did not realize he was as sick as he was for quite some time until we had taken a break from class. I had stayed in the room and just asked him if he was feeling better, and he didn't feel too hot. He just laid it all out there. He told me about the leukemia and the blood problems and the heart problems. And I just thought, my gosh, this man is amazing. And he really did love teaching. You could tell. He would not have stuck it out the way he did. Being as sick as he was, if he did not love this and love all of us in the process. So I feel incredibly privileged to have met him, even though it was for such a short time.
first came to Theater Works back at Dwyer through the Playwrights Forum, and the rest is kind of history. But I met my lovely husband, one of them. Bruce has been my husband, and Chris Lowell has been my husband, and Bob has been my husband, and Jeff has been my husband. Jeff Beard.
I was your dad.
I was your son.
I've been here a long time, and I've gotten to do this fabulous Shakespeare's with Bob and Tracy and Chris. I'm really surprised that I miss him so much, because I love to tease him. He was so cranky, and I never understood it personally. And I never could see underneath there, under the curmudgeon part, that it was all about covering up his big, huge heart. And I really miss it. And thank you all for being here.
When I was 12 years old, I first stepped on stage, first time ever at the Dwyer Theater, pushing Bob Pinney in a wheelchair. Those of you who've worked at Theater Works know how it always worked out. He had a ramp that was about as wide as this podium. It had maybe an inch and a half of clearance on either side. And here I was, 12 years old, wearing tights and pimp shoes, stone cold, terrified, pushing Bob Pinney onto the stage. And here I am, 8 years later, literally, it seems like much longer, filled, in a room filled with people who I grew up with, for the most part. And I had a different experience with Bob than most of you. I kind of always knew Bob. I'm the son of the crazy lady who stood up and talked about Bob, how Bob got her back into theater. And some of my earliest memories are of, wandering around backstage at Dwyer Hall while Bob and Mom rehearsed Henry V or whatever it was. And blessedly, I didn't know Bob as well as I would have liked to, as well as I should have, but blessedly I knew him when I was too young to have epiphanies. So I don't have any big, profound stories to tell, but one thing I really do remember was that first time I really stood on my own 2 feet as an actor, and I'm getting ready to go off. I gave up on my dream of acting. I am going to school for musical theater. And and God knows Bob would have something much more witty to say about that, but he got his revenge in that to this day, whenever I am on stage, I point with 2 fingers. Musical theater people don't like that. No matter how I try, I point with 2 fingers. In All's Well That Ends Well, I pushed him around in a wheelchair, and he had a pillow for one scene. I wheeled him off the side, and he napped. I remember some night I got it into my 12-year-old head that I would be being very helpful if, after the nap scene, when I exited, I took the pillow with me. You remember. And this, of course, turned out to be very stupid because they needed the pillow later on in the scenes. They established it as motivation for Tracy to come over, etc., etc. And Bob covered just fine. He pretended he was having a coughing fit or something that night. But, oh, did he give me shit for it. Yeah. Bob was actually, my experience of him was remarkably patient. I was 12 years old and horrifically shy, and Bob let me share his dressing room because I didn't want to change in the room with the big kids, and I was horrified about getting the seam on my tights straight. It was in France after all. Bob let